Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a great start to the new year. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Luna Classic, what has happened to it recently, and where we think the price is going to go to in the near future, with some key price levels and some trades we're looking to make, as well as why I think we've seen this small pump recently. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the analysis on this channel and haven't done so already, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. So with that being said, let's get straight into this video and let's get all the annotations back up on the screen from last time. And of course, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, this is going to look a little bit messy, but do not worry, I will explain everything. So just picking up from where we left off last time we talked about Luna Classic. We saw this pump in this upwards direction. We saw a beautiful almost 50% pump from this purple trend line down here at 14.4 cents, taking the price all the way to 18.5 cents before retracing all the way back down. The technicals here were looking good. We saw an increase in volume. We saw a breakout from some sort of chart pattern that looked like a falling wedge, as you can see, bound by the purple lines here. And so this was very, very convincing, but unfortunately the resistances in this 18.5 cents level proved to be too strong. So we already knew this yellow trend line was very significant. If we zoom out, for example, you can see how many times the price comes down to test this yellow line as a support. This time here at the start of November, for example, we see another few times in this region here, and you can just count how many times the price has come up to this yellow line to bounce off it once again. So we knew already that this was going to be an area of massive resistance, and now that has just solidified it even more. So the first thing we want to take away straight away from just looking at this chart is if we see the prices close in on this yellow line, let's say over the next few weeks, for example, we actually do see the prices come back up again and we get close to this yellow line, this is going to be an area of absolute interest, because if we do see the prices break through to the upside, that should be a massive event, because of course this trend line tends to be well respected, and at the moment we're on the underside of it. So if we do flip to the above side once again, that's going to be extremely bullish for the price, and we should see a large pump culminating from the fact that we've pumped past this yellow trend line here. So that's one thing I'm already looking out for, just based on this yellow trend line. If we come close to it, I'm going to be keeping my eye on the charts for any potential trades in the upwards or downwards direction. Of course the other scenario is if we do get to this yellow trend line and we get rejected once again, we should see the prices come down quite a bit, as we saw in this region here, for example. So if you are a trader, that could be a 10-15% short here on Luna Classic, just based off the price getting rejected from this yellow trend line. So that's one thing I'm looking out for in general. Of course, what has happened in this region here is that we've seen the prices calm down below 100-hour moving average. We crossed pretty much all the main Fibonacci lines. And if you don't know what the Fibonacci lines are, basically what we do is we connect the very bottom to the very top of the price within a given time frame. And basically these lines are auto-generated by the Fibonacci numbers. And what we can expect is for the price to potentially find some sort of support or resistance along these fib lines. So basically after we've seen this pump, we threw up the fib lines, and as the price has come down to retrace, we've seen that the price has found a reasonable amount of support at this 0.382 fib here. Not very perfect in this region recently, but back over here, for example, when the price was wedged between this purple line here, it respected the 0.382 fib extremely well, and on the way up as well, you can see the 0.5 fib was hit quite perfectly as well. So this is why we throw the Fibonacci levels up. They're never perfect, but they show us where we could potentially find some support and resistance. Of course, there was a period where the price actually did come down below the 0.382 fib, but didn't quite hit our purple trend line here. And that's quite interesting. That's quite significant because of course the price still remains above this purple trend line that we have here. And if I just go on the one-day chart, the significance of that is this falling wedge pattern. Of course, if the prices came well below this purple trend line, then this pattern would be invalidated. But the fact the prices have remained above this purple trend line, in my opinion, means that this pattern could still be in play. Of course, we saw that convincing breakout that we talked about. We saw some sort of retracement in the downwards direction, and now we're seeing the prices head in an upwards direction once again. So things in that regard could still be bullish here for Luna Classic. Of course, if I just show you the price target from this falling wedge, which is the first test of support and resistance, which I believe to be this distance here, we should see a price target on Luna Classic at around 47 cents. That's a 230% pump from where the breakout is. And if we just take the price now, that should give us a price target of 208% in the upwards direction. So this could still be in play. Of course, if this were to be in play, it wouldn't be a quick thing. It would have to be particularly patient. This could take weeks or even months to achieve that price target. But this falling wedge could still be in play because we're not yet invalidated from that. And also discussing this falling wedge here, basically we're on the logarithmic scale as well. So if we go on the arithmetic scale, we could be seeing a falling wedge based on a falling wedge looking a little bit more like this, which is derived from the arithmetic chart. Two different types of charts that we can look at. If we've seen a breakout from a falling wedge that looks a little bit more like this, then we get a price target that is a little bit smaller, so around 100% in the upwards direction. Of course, we just again drag our measuring tool to where we saw the breakout, and that gives us a price target of 33 cents. So of course, the next trade that I'm looking out for, if we do continue in the upwards direction, I will be taking quite a bit of profits at this 33 cents region, just as a price target from the falling wedge based on the arithmetic chart. So some of the profits will be taken out in this region if prices continue to go upwards. But of course, I will be keeping some of my position in until we see the price target met from this falling wedge from the logarithmic chart, which is the one I'm using mostly now because it seems to connect the trend lines better. So that's the second takeaway. That's the second takeaway from my analysis here on Luna Classic. Of course, just a few other things to look out for as well if we do start going in the upwards direction. So if the 33 cents and the 47 cents is to be met, those price targets, we do have some resistances that I'm looking out for on the way. So of course, this yellow trend line is a major one that I'm looking out for. Those fib lines there in general are another levels that I'm looking out for. You can see the numbers dotted on there, and at the moment we're coming close to the 0.618 fib, which is nice to see. But of course, I do think we're going to find some resistance at this 100-day moving average, this blue line here. Of course, we've got a 200-day moving average now on the charts. 200-day moving average is traditionally significant for a lot of investments. So the fact that we're now seeing a 200-day moving average, which is this yellow curved line here, is quite interesting because it's already provided itself as some sort of resistance for the price here on Luna Classic. So again, I'll be watching this 200-day moving average because if the prices get there, that could be an area to be taking profits in the upwards direction. And just looking at the volume as well, things aren't picking up as much as I'd like on the volume. Of course, if we have a look at the first time we saw a pump from this falling wedge, have a look at the volume increase that we saw over the coming days as the prices shot above our purple resistance here. You can see the volume really picked up in the upwards direction here. But if we have a look at the volume subsequent to that pump there, we can see it's actually been in this downwards direction. So even though prices over the past 3 days have been heading in an upwards direction, we've seen the volume go down. So in my mind, this honestly is a little bit of a red flag. That means that this pump isn't very well substantiated. If we just have a look at that on a closer time frame, again we can see the volume is particularly low on that pump there. So if you look at the low on the 30th of December, on the price it's just been a straight upwards direction, but on the volume you can see that the volume has been in some sort of general downtrend. You can see the purple line actually encompasses the peaks of the volume very well there, just coincidentally, but you can see it's in some sort of downwards trend line. So a potential red flag there. Of course, if we have a look at this pump here, for example, you can see the volume was in a massive uptrend as that pump occurred. You can see prices shot up, and the volume kind of followed suit as well. And so that's kind of really what we want to see. If prices continue to head up, we want to see the increase in volume pushing the prices higher. So as price goes up, volume goes up as well. So that's what we want to be looking out for. So I'd be keen to see the volume pick up here on Luna Classic if prices continue to head up. Otherwise, that could be a warning that we're going to see prices continue to head downwards here on Luna Classic. Of course, if they do that, then I'll be looking at this 100-hour moving average. At the moment, we're bullish according to the 100-hour moving average. Since the price is above this blue line, and just to explain it for those that don't know, this blue moving average, the 100-hour moving average, is a good determinant of trends here on Luna Classic. So basically, it just boils down to if we're above this 100-hour moving average, so if the prices are above this blue line, then typically we're in some sort of bullish trend, as you can see over here. But if the prices remain well below the 100-hour moving average, so if prices generally spend their time below it, such as in this region region here, we are generally bearish. So we can use this as a good test for whether we're bullish or bearish. And additionally as well, it acts as a dynamic support and resistance. So as you can see, prices sometimes use it as a support and resistance. So in this region here, for example, we see the prices use the blue moving average as a support as the prices are heading in some sort of upwards direction. So that's the significance of our blue 100-hour moving average. And so if we're able to keep above this 100-hour moving average, which at the moment is 14.9 cents, that's really good. We've got a fib at 0.5 at exactly 15 cents there. So that should provide some sort of decent support levels. So even if the prices go down a little bit, as long as we're able to remain at around 14.9, 15 cents, that should still be fairly bullish since we're above the 100-hour moving average and the 0.5 fib. And on top of this as well, another reason actually to be bullish here on Luna Classic is the fact that another meme coin that got released recently is seeing a lot of success. And that new meme coin that got released is called BonkIno. This is a Solana based meme coin. And over the past few days, so since it got uploaded to CoinGecko on the 29th of December, we can see that it's pumped 556% since its all-time low. It's only got a small market cap of around 40 million or so, but it's trending on Twitter. People are really talking about it, and the fact that it's done this 5x in the space of just several days shows that there's still demand for meme coins. The meme coin community is alive and active. Of course, we know that already here from Luna Classic, but the fact that new meme coins like BonkIno are starting to moon the way they are shows that there's still outside interest in meme coins. People do want to invest in these meme coins even during a bear market like the one we're seeing right now. And so that is actually another reason to be bullish here on Luna Classic. There's still demand for these meme coins. And even though Luna Classic isn't your traditional meme coin, it isn't a dog coin, there's still the same die-hard community here on Luna Classic that you get with Dogecoin, that you get with Shiba Inu, and all these other meme coins as well. So that's really good. The fact that we're seeing meme coins pump off means that Luna Classic has that same potential as well. So really great stuff in that department. And finally, just looking at the RSI and the MACD now, just to show what the momentum of Luna Classic is, we can see that MACD and the RSI are both looking actually very, very nice. We've seen the RSI on the 1 hour chart at 64, showing us that momentum here is generally bullish on Luna Classic, despite the fact that we're seeing a pump on low volume. Of course, the MACD as well showing us something similar, or in positive territory with the values here for the MACD signal line, and we're seeing green bars on the histogram, although to be fair, the bars here are looking fairly small. So basically what the MACD is saying is that we're seeing weak bullish momentum, but on the RSI the momentum is a lot stronger. It actually went oversold just a few hours ago on the MACD, so we saw a reading of above 70 on the RSI, so on the 1 hour chart things are looking quite good on the RSI, a little bit weaker on the MACD. Nonetheless, both of them showing us that we are bullish here on Luna Classic. Of course, if we go on the 1 day chart, RSI is peaking into bullish territory. We're seeing a value now just over 50, so that is good. With the MACD, we're still negative values for the MACD and signal line, but we are seeing those green bars, so things are heading bearish on the MACD on the 1 day chart, but at the moment they are still in negative territory, meaning that bearish momentum is still slightly stronger on the longer time frames. So that's what the MACD and the RSI are telling us. And with that being said, that's pretty much all I have to discuss here on Luna Classic. Of course, just to provide a summary of everything that I've said so far, basically at the moment we've seen this lovely pump come from this falling wedge, very convincing pump, which means that I do think this falling wedge is still in play, this falling wedge being the one bound by purple lines here. Of course, the price target from that is an incredible 47 cents, which would be a 3x from where the price is right now. That would obviously be a more longer term play, but in the shorter term we have seen this nice small pump here. I do think we're going to see some sort of resistances at the levels we discussed earlier in the video in the upwards direction. So that was to do with the moving average, these Fibonacci lines here, 15.7, 16.9 cents, and of course our yellow resistance here, very strong resistance on Luna Classic. So of course, if the prices do head up to it, then we're going to be keeping our eye to see for any breakouts or any rejections coming from this yellow trend line here. And of course, if prices do continue to head down throughout the day, so if we do see prices, then I do expect some support at this 15 cents region, the 14.9 to 15 cents region, because we have our 100-hour moving average and our 0.5 fib there. So two technicals telling us that we should see some sort of resistance there, and that should be quite a fairly reliable. So two technicals showing us that we should see some sort of support in that region. So That's what I'll be looking out for throughout the rest of the day. I don't particularly see any chart patterns at the moment. I think in some sort of bearish direction that looks like this. But of course, if I do see anything coming onto the charts, then I will be sure to upload that onto my trading view. So be sure to follow me on there for real-time updates on my thoughts on Luna Classic. But otherwise, that is all I have to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you had a very good New Year's. Hopefully 2023 will be a prosperous one for us all. And I'll see you in my next video.